Super Bowl MVP. This is Film Don't Lie on A2D Radio. And as always, we are brought to you by Alonzi Travel, specializing in creating the vacation of your dreams at Disney. Hey, the Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker and Sam Darnold are Disneyland today. Anyways, Universal or wherever your heart calls you, reach out to get a quote and start planning. My email is at the bottom of the screen on the ticker, Charles at alonzi-travel.com. So if you want to join the Super Bowl champions or follow suit and join them in Disneyland, hit me up. Let me know. But the Seahawks, as we most aptly predicted, are the Super Bowl champions, and we are here to discuss it. We are on a special Monday night and an early Monday night for us.
Normal time. This isn't early. This is normal people time.
It is, but like our shows in the past have been getting pushed back later and later. I'm just like now, like 9 to 10 is normal for me to do those shows. But yeah, this is a good time. Can't remember the last time I did a show this early, but I like it, and we're here to discuss and react to the biggest game of the NFL season, as always, Super Bowl 60. So
biggest doesn't always equal the best, people.
It doesn't always equal the best, but it is the biggest
or most
spectacle. Yeah, biggest spectacle, and I still refer to it as a national holiday. I refer to
should be on the Saturday.
I don't mind that. I wouldn't care, but at the same time,
I just think you can make more of a. You can literally make it a whole weekend of festivities. Like you can literally center around it.
Yeah,
NFL honors into the game, or you could do the game, then you could do the NFL honors, what have you. Like it could a weekend with the not Super Bowl day, not game day, Super Bowl weekend. I just don't know. They probably haven't done it because they just haven't figured out a way to make it work or what other events to tie to it.
Yeah, well, possibly. I mean, I wouldn't mind it at all. I think that would be, there are definitely benefits to that. I think though also, I'm not sure what the official date is for next year's, or what their plans are for.
I'm surprised it's back in LA. I mean, LA is LA, so
yeah, and then SoFi looks awesome. But like once they move to a 18 game schedule and they push that week back, so it should normally fall on President's Day weekend.
Yes.
So like, yeah, you'll have like
it's Valentine's Day next year.
It's on Valentine's Day next year. Okay, so yeah, that is. I'm pretty sure that's President's Day weekend too next year. I'll double check on that.
It is. It's always like it's the President's Day is the third Monday in the month of
third Monday. So yeah, that would be So yeah, it falls. You have not everyone has off the next day, but yeah, it is the next day is President's Day. So some schools and everything will be off. But so there is that. But I get the benefits of it. I don't have a preference at this point. I used to be like, no, you gotta keep it on Sunday, but like I see the benefits to it. Hey,
that was before when you were a kid and you don't have responsibilities or you're in college, you don't care if it's on a Sunday. Yeah. When you gotta go to work the next day,
exactly.
You care. You need that buffer.
Yeah. I mean, I always when I was working a regular 9 to 5. I always requested off the day after the Super Bowl. So like I more often than not I had the day, but knowing I wouldn't have to do that, that's an extra perk. But I hear you. All right, so let's get into this game. And I first want to, before we dive into like the nitty gritty X's and O's as we always do, I know that we have the Povia first. One of the first comments, he says, "What a snooze fest! At least halftime show was good." I have my thoughts. Okay, like I keep seeing this notion, and Povia, no offense to you at all, because I understand like the average fan of football is going to look at that and be like, boring. Like it's just no one is scoring. Blah blah blah. I personally, I've reached the stage of my NFL fandom where I know the difference between a boring, bad game and just a defensive battle. And that game yesterday was a defensive battle. And I thought it was really, really good. I mean, I know people will say like, yeah, but the offenses sucked. One offense sucked. All right. The Seahawks offense, they came up with explosives. Hence, said running back is the Super Bowl MVP. So that offense showed up. The other one, I'd say, to be fair, still though, and we'll get into it later, it was more so of the defense. So I mean, like it was
the
a
defense of the Seahawks or
defense of the Seahawks. It was,
okay.
I think, it was more so them forcing the Pats' hand, which they still played bad, but we'll get into that in the second.
May, I mean, not they May had probably his worst game of the season.
Yeah, and against an elite defense. So I hear you. But Dynasty, but what are your thoughts? Were you bored? I know you texted me saying like you kind of lost interest after halftime.
Wasn't bored. I mean, how can I say I was? It's boring when the game plays out how you expect it and how you predict it, and how we talked about it last Tuesday and last Tuesday recorded the show. It dropped on Wednesday, but last week's show, I'll just leave it at that. We kind of predicted like this is what we kind of could see this game playing out, where we felt as if most in this game felt as if Seattle would have to come down a level to kind of keep the Pats in it. But if you look at the two teams, Seattle was a team that could take another step. They could separate themselves further. And that's kind of how it played out. And I don't know if it's really Josh McDaniels. I won't say Josh McDaniels lost a step, what have you. But you got to look at the fortune, how the Pats got here. And kind of like the glass slipper fell off, right? Because when you talk about the defense and what Seattle did, Seattle's defense kind of runs in their base stuff. Last night, they did things that they haven't done or they haven't shown on tape before, and it confused me, right? And then you even go back to after it was 22, I think it was 22-0 or 19-0. You go back to that drive when the Pats do get on the board. He throws the break in route. He hits that. Reek is a little bit slow to get over to Mac, and then boom, he hits Matt Collins for a touchdown, right? The next drive, they get the 3 and out on the next drive, 19-7. Okay, here we go. We may be cooking with some grease because it's still early in the fourth quarter. He tries to throw the same in-breaking route, but this time, instead of the far side, camera side, it's the near side. It's not there. So even in that one series, Macdonald made an adjustment on the back end, and the defensive coordinator made an adjustment on the back end, where May didn't see the same thing consistently all night, and he just fell off because I think even between the Texans defense and the Seahawks defense, I think there's a slight difference because D'Amico can coach with scheme and he has the talent. But I mean, the Seahawks, they were just, you can kind of feel the vibe. And I've heard it, I listened to some podcasts. And they said, even on the sidelines before the game, it was almost like the Patriots were unsure, like if they can win this game or if they could keep up with them. Whereas the Seahawks, they were just bouncing with house money. And they felt so energetic, they almost had a hard time containing it. They're playing in a building that's familiar to them because they play there once every year. That's just, it's their division and so it was an easy travel for the 12 to come down. And I think they kind of know it. Like if they do how the Eagles did last year, I wouldn't be surprised if, remember when Saquon said, yes, people, all roads lead back to the Eagles. What Saquon said in the hotel ballroom, he's like, I've been watching the tape and they can't, excuse my language, they can't fuck with us.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised when the Seahawks or their social media team or the NFL, whatever, when they drop the prep for this game, if the Seahawks felt the same way, they probably looked at the Patriots like this team doesn't belong on the same field with us. And that's not to take anything away from the Pats, what they did in the regular season, but one of these things ain't like the other. You guys already.
If I'm not mistaken, I think I already saw a quote from a player. I'll see if I can find it again on Twitter. Okay. But you can keep going. But yeah, I think I saw a player on Twitter say that. Yeah,
it's almost like Dynasty says I almost turned it off. I didn't turn the game off. I had people over, so I didn't turn the game off. But I would say the game by the end of it didn't have my full attention, right? And realistically, if the Seahawks could have done more offensively in the first half, probably been that way in the first half. But when you look at the NFC West, you look at it was week 18 when the number one seed was on the line between two teams in the NFC West. Seattle had been playing this gauntlet all year. All year they've been up against it. And they got better as the season went on. Right? And for them, They realize it. Like, yo, our NFC Championship game is the hardest competition that we're gonna face. I don't think they looked at anybody from the AFC side and whether they would have played Denver or whether they played the Patriots, it would have been any different.
Yeah, the AFC was definitely weaker of the conferences. So
I don't think it would have been any. I don't think it would have been any different. I mean, even if the Denver had Bo Nix, even if Sean Payton kicks the field goal to go up 10-7 or whatever, right? I don't think it changes because they were playing with house money. They were confident in what they were doing, and then from the listen, I love me some Chardonnay wine. I get it.
Oh no, we're gonna get into this. Are you gonna lead off, or are you gonna let me lead off with that?
No, I feel sorry for Zach. I have you on my dynasty team. I usually draft him in 2 of my 4 leagues every year. But that's not to say he's not talented, but that how Seahawks and how Kubiak viewed their running back rotation, he would get carries and be in situations that were advantageous. Him getting hurt was addition by subtraction.
Yeah, there was I don't know if I sent it to you in the chat. Scott Barrett on Twitter, he said Patriots would have won if Zach Charbonnet was still healthy, which is it's probably not the case, but there might be a case. Like it's.
I mean, realistically, what I think you said. I think I saw your tweet, which you've been active all day and always, especially when it comes to running backs. He had 27 carries for 135 yards, so maybe he has 10 less carries. But you don't know how the scheme and how the flow of the game is going to play out. Or he would have had more. Who knows? But it didn't matter if I hate to say this, like it's almost, and this is not, I'm not shitting on the Pats when I say this. If him and Helani split, they weren't winning that game. Unless Seattle helped them win, they were out-coached, out-schemed from the kickoff. Because which is very odd for Josh McDaniels. But remember, we talked about this in last week's show. The thing for the Pats is they have to be able to run the ball and they have to be able to stop the run. They weren't able to do either one of those things consistently. So hence, this is why it almost feels like, I don't know if it's just me, it almost feels like this because it is Seattle and how the game played out. Last year it was the Eagles and the fan base is local, cool. But the Eagles are polarizing no matter what on a national level. Beating the Chiefs, going for a 3-peat. And last year before that, it was the Chiefs going back-to-back. This feels different. This feels uncharted territory. So it almost feels like we're in a void a little bit. It's just like, I don't know where Seattle, and this, I feel bad because this is kind of what Seattle did back in 2013. But Denver was a little bit different. That was a more vaulted test because of what the offense had did during the regular season. This was almost like varsity playing JV.
Yeah,
it really was. And
they were on the tier by separate from them. Yeah.
And like you have, like this is why I say this needed, in order for this game to really pop off, you needed Josh Allen to make it, and he had his worst game in the divisional round. That probably would have been the only saving grace for the AFC, because if you go back and you look at history outside of the Chiefs winning back-to-back, before the Chiefs winning back-to-back, the AFC and NFC has been toggling back and forth Super Bowls. So this is the first time. Well, now it's not the same team, but it's the first time in a while, I want to say probably since the early 90s, that the NFC team has won back-to-back different teams. I want to say 92 Redskins, 93 Dallas, because Dallas won at 93, 94. No, so the NFC won on a run in the early 90s, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96.
Okay.
And 97. Because it was, if I'm not mistaken, you go Redskins. No, matter of fact, you go Giants 91, Redskins 92, Dallas 93, 94, 95 San Fran, 96 Dallas, 97 Green Bay, and then Denver pops off 2.
Yeah.
And then St. Louis brings it back to the NFC. And then if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for the Pats having their, obviously Brady having 6, going to how many, bro, the NFC's, historically, has been dominant in the last 40 years in the Super Bowl. Honestly. So, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird, but I didn't say anything about you know who. I didn't talk about K1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. So here's your moment to shine. You've been this is Saquon Jr. This is your guy. This is he's been your guy since he was drafted. So, sir, the floor is yours. My views do not align with Chuck's views or those of A2D. I don't know what's about to happen, but trust and believe. The floor is yours, sir.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'm not gonna lie. And if you follow me on Twitter, you know I've been going off since last night. Like, yeah, I've been going off since during the game. Like, I feel bad for whoever follows me. They're probably like, he is not shutting up about Kenneth Walker, and it is something that I absolutely admit to. But yeah, like he is like Saquon's my top guy, but K9 is right there. Those are my two favorite guys. So like seeing the path that K9 has been on to get here and win Super Bowl MVP, it's like one of the proudest things, like in terms of being a fan. I am elated that it's happened this way for him. It really is similar to seeing Saquon win last year. It really is. It's like you get behind and you're a fan of these players and you believe in these players, and it means something else when like you're one of the only ones. You know, I'm not saying like no one else.
Well, you see it early because you've been on it since Michigan State.
Yes, when I first started watching him, and it's just like this dude is special. But like you had people who said Breece Hall was better, which Breece Hall is a stud. So I mean, I'm not. They were like neck and neck with each other, so I don't blame anyone with that. But like you still had some other people who were really, really down on him. Really down on him. Right. There's one that I always bring up. One draft analyst, very popular, that had him as RB10, and I just could not believe it. I was floored, but I saw it from the get-go. I mean, like if people, I dug up because I keep all this stuff saved. So I dug up my old draft report on him, right? So this is what I had said. Let me get rid of the sidebar, but like this is it. And excuse of the looking at the template, I'm like, oh my god, this was like so elementary. This is so boring and wow, I can't believe anyone would have read my scouting reports. But yeah, this is it. And if I'm gonna go by and read just like the projection summary at the bottom, right? The transition summary, however you want to say it, because that's like the meat and potatoes of the whole eval, right? So at the bottom, I'll read it. Kenneth Walker projects as an elite starting running back who can run both zone and gap schemes for an offense and is capable of taking on a full workload. He's a high-level physical athlete with elite agility, great explosiveness, great contact balance, and good top-end speed. He's a smart runner with great vision at all levels of the field. When you combine that with his poise, anticipation of oncoming defenders, tempo, and pacing, it makes for a high rate of explosive plays. He consistently creates yards for himself and forces missed tackles in various ways. In addition, he plays with fearlessness and isn't shy about punishing defenders with leverage and power. There really aren't any glaring weaknesses to Walker's game, but if I'm going to nitpick, I'd point out his tendency to rely on cut blocks a little too often in pass protection. He may not have an extensive resume as a receiver. This goes out to Chris Collinsworth, but that's a result of lack of usage as opposed to lack of ability. When called upon, he displays soft hands and comfortably catching away from his body. Overall, Walker is a special running back who deserves to be taken in the first round of the NFL draft and would offer tremendous value as a selection in round 2 or 3. Did I nail that projection? I'll let you.
You definitely nailed it. I mean, and the thing is, like his first couple seasons, he got hurt. So he's not. I mean, he has the burst. He's not even as shifty as he was when you wrote that. You know what I mean? Like, but his vision, he's gotten better. He's learned how to run smarter, not harder. Like, I think it was one clip, I forget which one it was, said like he literally was walking, like not walking, but he wasn't moving fast after he got the handoff to set up his blocks. And he realized like that was a game late yesterday where he's like, hey, I just need to do enough. I don't need to hit a home run here. I just need to keep these chains moving. My boys on the other side of the field, on the defensive side of the ball, they can't do nothing with them. So we just can't lose the game. You know what I mean? But this whole postseason, he's gotten better and better and better every game, and it's almost like it's like baby Saquon. Like we knew this guy was good. You don't really see it during the regular season because they do give carries to Charbonnet for whatever reason, right? And once again, not take nothing from Charbonnet, but now you got to see this guy with this elite talent on the biggest stage. And honestly, if I'm Clint Kubiak, no thanks, but no thanks, Cardinals. I'm trying to keep this together because if you look at bigger picture,
you mean Raiders? You went to the Raiders,
huh?
You said Cardinals. You mean Raiders?
Yeah, Cardinals. Oh, Raiders. I'm sorry, Raiders.
Yeah.
Now that's a little bit more enticing, but even then, still, JSN, Devin Witherspoon, they're young. The oldest person really is DeMarcus Lawrence.
The only person on defense they're going to lose next year is Reek. That's it.
You think he's still going?
I think he's still gone. I think they'll replace him.
Do you think so? Job was ex-Eagle.
Yeah,
he was drafted by the Eagles. He's their corner slot.
Mm-hmm. He's the other corner. Well, I mean, he's not the slot. He's the other boundary corner that he splits times with.
So they use Witherspoon all over the place.
Yes, they move. And Emanwari, when Witherspoon moves outside, they put Emanwari in the slot as that big nickel, whatever.
I don't know, man. I'm not saying this is the Legion of Boom, and listen, Darnold.
The dark side.
Listen. Whenever the parade is, brother, take the opportunity, wear a syndrome costume, and say you finally beat Mr. Incredible.
Oh my God! Yeah,
bro, I'm telling you, because that's what I would. And he didn't have to play like they didn't. He didn't have to play great. He didn't have to play great. He threw a couple throws. The Barner touchdown, which hats off. I made some money yesterday. Hit the first touchdown of the game. Very rare it happens in the third quarter, but that's kind of how I envision it happening, like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and it was good job by Darnold. But yeah, you talk about like K9 and getting better and stuff like that. I mean, yesterday we talked about how. No, not yesterday. Last week, right when we did our preview for this, and we talked about the Seahawks offense against the Patriots defense. You know, I had touched on how the Seahawks lean on outside zone, right? They lean on outside zone. That's their bread and butter. But the Patriots are really good at defending outside zone. So I had said in the preview, I'm interested to see what Kubiak does if he changes things up, like if he calls other run concepts to kind of like catch them off guard. Well, I charted all of their carries, right? All of 27 of K9's carries, and they called outside zone on 11 of the 27. So not even half of the carries were outside zone. They went away from it. Now they started the game. All the first quarter was all outside zone. The 5 carries are all outside zone. And it was that first carry, 10 yards. And then the next 4, it was minimal. It was like 0, 3, 2, and 1. So they really got to be on it. But like starting with the second quarter, they called a pull lead concept with Zabel pulling it out. And that's the 30-yarder. And oh, by the way, I just posted not too long ago my film breakdown of Kenneth Walker. So if you want to see detailed film breakdown of his big runs and stuff like that, it's on my socials, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's all over there. So check them out. But yeah, pull lead 30 yards, inside zone 29 yards, and like I'm watching the film with all the other runs, and I'm just like, they're calling different stuff. They are doing it. So like now they didn't have, and when I say they're doing it, and like the Patriots still played the run really well in terms of success rate, though. So down and down, the success rate really wasn't that good. Ben Solak tweeted out the numbers, the exact percentage of the success rate, and I forget what it was, but it wasn't good. However, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to explosives, because the even though down to down wasn't great, Kenneth Walker had 6 total explosive plays throughout the game. 5 of them were carries, and 1 of them was that screen pass. So he's just being not getting deterred, sticking with it. And I'm talking about the Seahawks and Kenneth Walker, just sticking with it. You're not getting a bunch of you're believing in the fact that, hey, I might not get a lot of yards on every single carry. That's going to be tough. We're going to get some minimal yards, some negative yards here, but we believe we're going to hit explosives at some point, and they did. They hit those explosives, and those were the difference. Kenneth Walker had 161 scrimmage yards, 135 of that were rushing, and then 26 of that were receiving. He also, per Next Gen Stats, and I'm going to bring up Next Gen Stats. This is his Kenneth Walker's carry chart. He had a rushing yards over expected of plus 42. So if you don't know rushing yards over expected, for those who are listening, it takes into account like how many yards a running back is supposed to get on a given carry, and then if he's plus that, so that means it's kind of like a solid way of measuring what a running back is doing on his own outside of blocking, right? So rushing yards over expected of plus 42. He had 9 forced missed tackles for an extra 79 yards. And like I said, 6 total explosive plays, 5 runs, 1 catch. So he was phenomenal. He wins Super Bowl MVP, 8th running back all time to win Super Bowl MVP, and the first one to win it
Terrell Davis
since Terrell Davis in 1998. So it's awesome stuff. Like he deserves it, and it's like I said, I feel like I'm so proud of him, and I'm so happy for him, and I'm on cloud 9 being able to finally see the day where he gets the respect and recognition that he deserves. And I'm just like, I'm sitting there and, I'm listening to Chris Collinsworth, and it's funny. I'm like, he's because, I loathe Chris Collinsworth. Listening to him like wax poetic about Kenneth Walker, talk about him, and I'm like, all right, cool. He's giving him his praise. But then at the same time, I'm like, just shut up too. Like, just stop talking about.
You could have been doing this the whole time, sir.
When Kenneth Walker had that drop right on that wheel route, and Collinsworth had said he's not a good receiver. Oh, I lost my mind. I was ready to throw something at the TV. I'm like, you do not watch him. Like you are being told what to say. You do not watch him. He is a good receiver. He has really good hands, and I've got all the film to prove it. So like, I was so heated, but like, it's really nice from yesterday. I mean, all the playoffs, but like seeing people online, people that like I follow, credible football minds and analysts last night, this morning, finally giving K9 his due praise.
Give him his flowers,
Give him his flowers. It's
awesome. And you think about it, it's really been JSN, Darnold, whatever. But it's almost like, and listen, I will say this from the other side of this coin. Christian Gonzalez is a monster. He's so good. He's so good, dude.
He was. Oh my god! If the Pats won somehow, we would have been Super Bowl MVP. Like
pass breaker. I mean, even the Pats secondary overall, the defense didn't play bad. It's just you can't have bad quarterback play like that in the biggest stage. And it almost seemed like, I don't know if the Patriots kind of felt as if they was on the same level. Like the spread wasn't enough for them. Like they almost how Shanahan approached the Eagles game, right? He knew from a personnel perspective they didn't match with the Eagles well. He had to do trick plays. I'm not saying they had to do trick plays, but they had to do something status quo that was different from what they did on tape. And almost like they came into the game with this, not say the same game plan, but whatever it wasn't exotic enough. They didn't like to know, and kudos to them. But that's a tough spot. They got rookie tackles on both sides. They got rookie tackles, and I think Campbell just came back from a high ankle sprain, gave up 14 pressures, the highest of any lineman in any game this season. When you have that, like in-game adjustments, what have you, but it's almost like they just threw it out the window, man. And this is the one thing. Remember, this is the one thing that not. What's up, Don? What's up, Dales? The knock about Vrabel. Remember the year when Cincinnati made it? That Tennessee was the number 1 seed. Mm-hmm. Maybe he's just a regular season coach. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, he's been good with this, like with game management stuff and game decisions up until this point. But like, yeah,
I
like in
don't
the
think it was so
Super Bowl,
much
he's
game
doing several
decisions. It was just like the game plan, the install just wasn't enough. It wasn't exotic enough. You should have known that you were outmanned. Because it's really Drake Maye. Look, fantasy points, he was killing it all year. He was putting the team on his back. Now maybe if you had a younger Stephon Diggs, but now if I'm the Pats, Kenneth Walker, I'm offering you the world. AJ Brown,
they have Trevion Henderson, but I mean
but they need something else. They need whether it's Ayuk, what have you, if he gets his head on straight.
They need a receiver, yes.
Yeah, if a T. Higgins, an AJ Brown, somebody like that to help kind of alleviate that pressure off of May. You know what I mean? And it was just like we just looked at it. If you look at the top 10 players in the game on either side, how many are you? What's the percent? How many out of 10 are going to be Seattle? What's going to be the percentage of the Patriots?
You could argue all 10 would be the first 10 would be Seattle. You possibly it's a lock that 5. It's a lock, and then like when you're talking about 6 to 10, it's getting close.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, May would have to be in. May would have to be in there somewhere.
Yeah, he would be the first one. I mean, I'm trying to think of anyone else on the. I mean, Gonzo
May, maybe Milton Williams.
Milton Williams. Sorry, why did we forget? Yeah, so Gonzo, May, Milton Williams would be the top 3 in my opinion. That would be the
then
top
everything.
So
then you got. I mean, obviously you got JSN, Witherspoon. How many picks did Milwari go before Mukuba?
I have it here. Or I have the draft results here if I can. So Eminwari, I can tell you where Eminwari was taken.
Yes.
He was taken so he was the 35th overall pick. So he was very top of the second round. So several spots because from Makuba was like mid or late second round. So he was far out of reach.
I mean, it just goes to show and it goes to say, hey, Seattle took that step forward. They have a good setup, and this is one of those things to where you always hear flashy talk. Get the offensive play caller, head coach. Get the next McVay. Get the next Shanahan. Do this, do that. Here's the thing. Mike Macdonald's a defensive coordinator, head coach. He's a defensive head coach. His defensive system is now installed. A lot of times, when you have this much talent from a personnel perspective, you don't coach the scheme too. He's doing both.
Yeah.
The offense is already there. The O-line is there. Running backs are there. They may franchise Kenneth Walker, but trust and believe if the sale goes up and Jeff Bezos buys the team, they're going damn the salary cap. You feel what I'm saying? They may introduce a luxury tax for all I know. We'll see. But the reason I'm saying that is because you OCs are gonna want to go there.
Yeah.
Like hand to God, like if I bullshit you not, if Mike McDaniel already wasn't committed to the Chargers and Kubiak took the Raiders job, Mike McDaniel be like, yeah, I'll be your OC. First thing smoking. Because the offense is yours. You can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There we go.
The defense may get better, and it's not like like I said, it's not like they have one standout guy. They're just it's different than the Legion of Boom. The Legion of Boom had elite players at their positions.
Three positions elite, and everyone else was good. So
I'm not taking anything from Memorial. I'm not taking anything from Witherspoon. They're not that, and the Legion of Boom played their base a lot.
Yeah, it's a collection. They're the collection of. Then they played. I think if you're taking out positional value, I think that in a vacuum, the best player on that defense is Devin Witherspoon. I think he's the best one.
Yes. Remember how they used to use Jamal Adams, but Jamal Adams was a liability in coverage?
Yeah.
Witherspoon is not that.
Yeah, Witherspoon plays everywhere.
He's not that. And then you got Ernest Jones in the middle. I can't even tell you the other linebacker. I mean, I know in Wosu, ADTD former interview alumni.
Yeah, interview. Yep. Yeah.
Interview alumni. Scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl. So happy for him. But I think he's an outside linebacker. What the point I'm making is this could be the beginning of something, and it really all hinges on how Sam Darnold plays and how much the offense can keep them can keep progressing.
Yeah,
but they score points. I mean, if you, like I said, like the Rams gave them the toughest time. I remember pregame, Chris Sims was talking to his boy Kyle Shannon. He says, "What about this?" He goes, "Like, listen, I'm not the expert. I haven't scored a touchdown on these dudes."
That was, no matter how you feel about Kyle Shanahan, that was hilarious. That was a great soundbite.
That's the kind of accountability that you need, to be honest, because that's what's going to allow you to figure out a way. I'm pretty sure every other team out of the 31 teams who didn't win the Super Bowl, they're figuring out just how 31 teams last year did it. How do we stop the Eagles? Yeah. How do we stop the tush push? What do we do? How do we attack this team? And it's not so much, it's about the offense too, but how do we attack this defense? What is this defense doing? Because honestly, Mike Macdonald was what? The Baltimore Ravens DC for 2 or 3 years?
I think 2.
2.
I could be wrong, but I think 2.
This is what the final stage of that system looks like with this. And that's from Baltimore.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep,
so
yeah.
I think it sounds crazy. I think the team that could have gave them the most trouble from the AFC side of the teams in the playoffs probably would have been Josh Allen, just because this is Josh Allen. But from a unit perspective, I would have loved to see the Super Bowl. It probably would have been horrible from ratings perspective. I would have loved to see Jaguars versus Seattle.
That's the team I was going to say. Because, you touched on it earlier. I forgot to harken back to it or touch back on it. But why? So everyone's always asking this, like all the podcasts that I listen to. So, like, what did the Rams do that made them the only team that had success against this defense? And when it comes down to it, one is personnel, because you have a great quarterback, you have the receivers to do it, but like that quarterback has to be willing to rip it, like to be able to be aggressive and fearless into throwing into those zones, tight windows, again, because he has faith in the receivers that are catching them. And those receivers have to have the talent to catch them. What is the only offense that comes close to that pedigree? It's the Jaguars, because you have a physically talented quarterback who's not afraid to throw downfield and being aggressive. They have talent at receiver. They have a good offensive play caller. So that out of the AFC, that would have been the only one that I think could have had similar success, or the closest to it that the Rams had against the Seahawks. Would I say they had a good chance of it? No, but it was
they would have had the best, because if you look at, and that Don asked us, do they have a decent O-line? But the thing is, they have answers to the questions that Seattle poses.
Yeah.
When you look at Brian Thomas Jr.,
remember Cohen coached under he was an assistant under McVay, so a lot of the same principles are there.
Yep. I mean, you BTJ, Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington would have been a problem if he would have got open in space. I'm forgetting the tight end's name. Brenton Strange, I want to say, is that his name? If I'm not mistaken. And then you got ETN, and Trevor Lawrence can get out in a bootleg and run and move that pocket. But it would have been about turnovers. It would have been about turnovers. So that's for me. Jacksonville, I think, would have gave Seattle the biggest puncher's chance. I'm happy for Seattle. I know shout out to my boy Vic Moore, one of the barbers down here where I'm at. Seahawks fan, go Hawks. One of my girls at work, Trish. We were working an auto show together. She had her Seahawks every day. Every day she was coming to the auto show in Philly. She was wearing her Seahawks. So there's out and proud, man. So it's a decent amount of them out here.
That's funny, because I only know one Seahawks fan. It's my good friend I've known for a while, but I haven't seen any out here. But that's interesting. I'm happy for him. I wish I knew more, because I'd want to tell him, like,
Don just asked the $1 million question.
Let's see. Let's save that for later. I want to say that. We got to get a little bit more into that, but that's a good question. Don, bookmark it, or I bookmarked it. we're gonna push that a little bit back. But some other things I wanted to dive into since we talked about the Seahawks defense. Yeah, I mean, like one of the other things that they did, because what was the other key, right? That we talked about last week? Pressure. Pressure. Like I had said if they're going to pressure Drake Maye and get there consistently, this game is going to be a landslide, and that's essentially what happened. Like the Patriots had to find a way to protect Maye, and they couldn't. They did not have any answers. Like Mike, you just got done talking about Mike Macdonald, like his play calling prowess is just insane. Like, and to be able to, they don't blitz. This is what I've always been talking about when it comes to the blitz. Like all fans are always like, "Yo, blitz," especially Eagles fans because they remember the days of Jim Johnson. So they're always like, "The blitz is the answer to everything." No, it's not. A well-timed blitz is the answer to a lot of things. And if you want Exhibit A of a coach who knows how to call a blitz at the correct times, it's Mike Macdonald. And he didn't. They only blitzed 7 times. They got pressure on 6 of them. 6 out of the 7. And this isn't even a one-game thing. This is something that's been consistent. I wish I forgot to look up the number, so I apologize. But look at throughout the season. How many you'll find that the Seahawks are near the bottom of the league when it comes to blitz rate, but they're at the top of the league when it comes to blitz success. So they don't do it a lot, but when they do it, they get home. They get them. That was great, and this is another reason why I would have picked if Kenneth Walker didn't win MVP. I would have picked Devin Witherspoon because of his impact. Like he's easily my favorite defensive player on that roster. And he's one of my overall favorite defensive players in the entire league. You're talking about like slot corners, and this is, Devin Witherspoon gets moved around. He plays in the slot. He plays outside. Blah blah blah. Nick Emmanwori is he's more so designated to like that slot or the box area. But I mean, he's a stud in his own. But like Devin Witherspoon, a great blitzer. He hadn't been blitzing in like 5 weeks, but they like saved it up for this game. And they blitzed them 4 times, and it was.
I think he had 3 QB hits out of the 4.
Yeah. Oh my god! And I think he was one sack. One of them was sacked. So, oh my god, like he is all over the place. Just constant pressure. The coverage, as usual, by the Seahawks is so sound. The tackling is on point. And you have like the lesser players, like not like bad players. I don't mean to like degrade them, but the lesser name players like Josh Jobe, Derek Hall. Yeah. Derek Hall had. You can make an argument. Derek Hall could have. He
had the first sack of the game.
Yeah. So Derek Hall, like these are like secondary players, lesser named guys that had impacts on this game. So it was just an overall, just everyone.
And it's weird because you would think Josh McDaniels would look at how was McVay successful against his defense? How can we use some looks to within our base and our concepts to kind of confuse them on the back end? But truth be told, when the QB can't hold on to the ball or he's throwing a pick, this, that, and the third, it makes it challenging. It truly makes it challenging.
Maye was really all over the place. I mean, I do, like I said at the top of the show, I do put this more on the Seattle's defense just being that great and forcing it. But yeah, the Patriots offense just did not have a good game. They could not pick up anything, whether it be simulated blitzes, just regular 4-man rushes. They could not pick up anything. And Drake Maye was bad. Like the times when he did have an opportunity to throw, and I think there was one specifically in the third quarter where he had the time, he had someone open and he missed it. Like he felt so sped up.
Right.
And, with Will Campbell gave up 14 pressures. I think it's proven that Will Campbell he has to be moved in the inside. He's a guard. He's not a left tackle.
They got away with it. Like it's almost like the path that the Patriots got here with was false hope. Honestly, it was false hope, and they didn't have whatever their quality control to look at the week that they had off. to say, hey, like, how do we look against this team? What can we do against this team? What do we do? Whatever we can bring it to this game. Somebody in the building wasn't honest, and they should have just said, like, hey, like, we can hang with them, but we need to get crazy. We need to get a little bit wild. We need to get a little bit Philly. Honestly. Mm-hmm. And the one thing I had forgot about, and also, I don't know what point of the game it was, but the scuffle where nothing was called, punches were thrown, a ref got hit.
Yeah,
who knows? Like I said, I don't remember exactly what point of the game it was. I don't know if New England had scored at that point. But I mean, if you talk about Josh Jobe is out of the game, who was the other Seattle player? Was it Imawari?
I just know Josh Jobe. I forget who else was.
I know Jobe threw the punch. I know that.
Yeah, Jobe threw the punch.
So who knows if that's called? That's like those 15-yard penalties and somebody's disqualified from the game. Those are momentum starters. You know what I mean? Even in 19-7, when they get the 3 and out, and before May throws the pick, if they get any type of points on that end, right? Mm-hmm. Then who knows? Because then at this point, like Sam Darnold never felt pressure to have to go win the game the whole time.
Yeah.
Right. And kudos to the other 52 guys on that team to do that, and to the coaches who prepped well. I honestly think it was easier to prep for the Seahawks because once again they went through the gauntlet in the regular season. Right? The Pats won how many games last year? 4 or 5? Something like that. And they played the last place game, and they had a 10-game winning streak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things. These are how the cards come out.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't call a lot more. Like, I'm surprised Maye didn't take off and scramble more with his legs, and I'm surprised they didn't call more QB runs. Like, you're talking about like trying to.
It's his second year, so they wanted to stay around.
He may not never. You can't guarantee he'll be back in the Super Bowl. You got to leave it all.
You get back here.
You can't guarantee it. So it's
Buffalo may get better. Bo Nix may not get hurt again. Who knows what Denver does? I mean, hell, you got the Midwest monsters when Mahomes comes back healthy.
Yeah,
you never know. You know, Lamar.
Yeah. I do think the Patriots are the arrows pointing up because this is Vrabel's first year.
You can't make it. Let's not say you can't make it to the Super Bowl and not feel like it was a successful season, especially where you came from, where they came from. I'm not. Hopefully, my intention is not to paint that picture. This was the measuring stick to say, hey, this is a level we need to get to.
Yeah,
we thought we were here. We're not.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it was one thing about the Patriots way, old school Patriots way, is they're not going to take this line down.
They won't.
They're going to be back.
They're going to be better than this. It's just a matter of like, will it be, even if they do get better, will it be enough to make it back? That's the scary thing. You can be a better team, but you need other things to work out in your favor. Like you need injury luck. You need luck on the other side of the schedule. Like you need a bunch of things. So like it's not just that. So it's disheartening, but from the outside looking in, I am encouraged by this Patriots team, and I would be if I was a fan of the Patriots, I would once the feeling of the loss settles down, I would be excited about what the future can hold. So yeah, the last thing I want to, from personally on my side, in terms of like just this game specifically, we need to give. I think we touched on him a little bit, but we just need to give Darnold his flowers because we come on here and we talk all the time, right? About I think from like the beginning of the season. The question was Sam Darnold. What can he do? Like in terms of how far can he get there? And I was admittedly someone who thought it was going to be a downgrade going from Geno to Darnold, and I was completely wrong about that, and I own it. So flowers to Darnold, and I had said after
syndrome.
That
on this show he is called syndrome. I
had said after that Week 16 victory against the Rams, this could be his turning point. And lo and behold, it was. Because they did not turn the ball over at all in the playoffs.
Yep.
That's fantastic. To not turn the ball over at all.
Now you take the talent and the believability and the belief, the self-belief that he can play at this level and he belongs.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He belongs. This game, yes, the Super Bowl game, maybe it wasn't him. He put it, but that NFC Championship game, old buddy had to do some things.
Yeah.
Just to get him here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
So real quick, now that we know that Seattle's going to be opening up kickoff Thursday in Seattle, there is a chance. There is a chance. I don't think it's going to be the Eagles, but the NFC East plays the NFC West divisions and the AFC South.
We play them, but it's in Philly, so I don't think we'd be opening.
No.
Yeah,
so it could be Dallas, or it could be the Commanders. More likely or not, it's we'll see. But you talking about? I don't know if you want to go to that. I don't know if you had anything else. If you want to start running to that bookmark question that Don had posed earlier,
we can. I wanted to also dive into like just like the Seahawks journey to get here, but let's get into this question before we do that. He asked Pete, what about the Eagles matching up with the Seahawks with a good OC?
It's going to be a fight.
It's loaded. It's a loaded question. It's a tough question because I don't know what the roster looks like for certain.
Right.
Like,
the Eagles roster is going to go through more transformation, more likely or not, than the Seahawks roster at its core. I mean, if they lose Tariq, depending on what they do with Kenneth Walker, but I don't understand how you let Kenneth K9 walk out of the building.
I don't understand how you would.
But I mean, if you give me a healthy O-line for the Eagles, defensive personnel, I think it's almost a wash. And even defensive minds, it's very even, but it's going to be, if it's in Philly, then I think home field matters in a certain sense. With a good OC, can I see the Eagles putting up? I can see this game being like low 20s, mid 20s. I mean, it could be a shootout as well. It could be what the Rams and the Seahawks look like. I still give my team a puncher's chance. And that's the one thing. So I feel like if the Eagles could have got their shit together and just made it to the divisional round, I can't say for the 100% certainty if they just would. The Seahawks wouldn't have just blew them out. I think the NFC Championship game would have looked a lot similar to what the Rams and Seahawks did, probably with 10 less points.
Yeah.
Overall, I think it would have been in the 20s, but it would have been a close game because I think these two teams are very evenly matched. And here's the kicker to this question, Don. This is now a well-rested Eagles team. This Super Bowl grind that the Seahawks are going to see, this shit is different for all those players. Playing this deep, because now you've played 17 regular season games, and now you played 20 games in the season. That takes a toll.
It takes a toll. Our two offensive linemen have admittedly never healed up from their injuries.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe three of them, maybe not a lot of two. But it takes a toll. 100% takes a toll. It's tough, okay? I do think the best unit overall between all of them is the Seahawks defense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I think that's the best unit. Then the Eagles defense, I think they're a tier down. Okay, I think they would be a tier down if I'm going to be fair. So Seahawks defense is the best unit. Eagles defense is a tier down, but still a great unit, great defense. So the next best unit, if you're talking about an Eagles offense with a good OC,
well,
let's
good OC and good play calling and sequencing. That's
that comes with it. Let's split the difference on O-line because I want to know, do you mean like a dominant O-line we had in 2024? Or are you talking about the crappy O-line we have now? So I'm going to split the difference. I'm going to say just league average O-line, right? So if they have just league average level O-line, because you got to think about the question marks with Dickerson and his lane coming back, all that. So I'll split the difference. League average O-line, good OC. AJ is still here, right? Dallas is still here because it's too hard to answer that with
the Mannion
the
offense.
unknowns.
Tight ends
Yeah.
become of utmost importance.
Important. So
Yes.
to me, that's the next best unit.
Mhm.
So that's the next best unit after the defenses. And then you have the Seahawks, right? As the worst unit. And if you want to factor in special teams, the Seahawks special teams is better than the Eagles.
Yeah, with
special
Shaheed,
teams.
yeah.
Yeah. So that they're better. So now if you have that, you give the advantage kind of to the Seahawks overall. And then if you go to if I'm going to be, because when I talk about like a lot of people be like, you know what I always hate? I always get annoyed when like people are doing previews of like this team versus this team, and then they match them up like the positions. They go like, okay, which QB is better? Leans to this team, so that's the point of this team. No, like the QBs don't play each other. The QBs don't go head to head with each other. That's not how you dictate matchups. You dictate matchups by, okay, the offense is going against the defense. Where can you find? How does that unit fare? So, anyway, sorry, tangent that I had to get off my chest. But how would the Eagles offense, fare against the Seahawks defense? I think they'd have trouble because our offense is going to be under Mannion, that outside zone play action. I don't know if we have the offensive line yet and the tight ends yet to really take advantage of the Seahawks defense. So I think our offense would still struggle a bit. I think our offense could maybe put up like 14 points-ish. But that might be tough. So then on the other side, Eagles defense against the Seahawks offense. I think the Eagles defense, for the most part, would have success. But it comes down to, can the Eagles defense generate turnovers?
Right.
Because that's the thing. We didn't see the Seahawks offense turn the ball over, but we know that if there's a path to expose the Seahawks, it's by getting Darnold to turn the ball over.
But also on the same token, the Seahawks offense didn't really play an elite defense in the NFC in the playoffs.
That's fair. That's fair too. That's a fair point. So yeah, I mean, they could. It's so tough. I think because I'm thinking so hard on this. If I think the X factor is the Eagles' offensive line. If you were to tell me the Eagles had the offensive line of back in 2024 was dominant,
you give me 24 or 23. Either just not this year.
Not this year.
Yeah.
If they had that dominant offensive line, then I would go Eagles. I would lean Eagles slightly.
Yeah, that was an all-timer unit.
Yeah, anything less than that dominant offensive line, I lean Seahawks. That's my answer. It depends on the offense.
How much credit do you put? Well, because remember, if we're looking at it, regular season matchup, they're playing in Philly.
Now you're talking about like at home in Philly.
Yeah.
Because
in Seattle, that's a different.
That's another thing. Yeah, in Seattle would be. And we haven't. It's not like we've had luck in Seattle. We've had.
When's the last time we beat in Seattle?
No, like a long time. Last time the Eagles have won in Seattle. The last time.
Have they? Did they do it under the Andy Reid era?
I don't. Nothing initially comes up on Google, so I'd have to look it up later. But I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. So, it's that. That's my answer.
So, I hear a lot of people saying quiet is kept that. Oh, is Sam Darnold better than Jalen Hurts? I'm still taking Jalen Hurts over Sam Darnold.
No, I'm still taking Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
I'm still taking Jalen Hurts because
if you put Jalen Hurts on that team, right, on the Seattle Seahawks team right now, they'd be odds-on favorite to go back to the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, and I'm not hating on Sam Darnold. I'm not hating on Sam Darnold. I've been defending Sam Darnold for now weeks, so like I'm not hating on Sam Darnold, but Hurts is better. Yeah. So before we get into No Huddle, I wanted to dive into this because this is something that is.
Do we have any other bookmark questions you want to circle back to or no?
Oh yeah, Don had one more. Who do you think is more upset by the Super Bowl results? Bo Nix and the Broncos, the Vikings, or the Niners with injury? The Seahawks won the Super Bowl in their house.
Yeah. I probably would say maybe the Vikings. If they didn't see this progression that Sam Darnold can make.
Yeah. I don't think so I would eliminate the Broncos because I don't think the Broncos could beat the Seattle Seahawks, even with Bo Nix. I don't think it's happening. So we're at the Broncos. So now it goes into like, okay, the Vikings losing out on Sam Darnold or the Niners having the division rival win in their home stadium. I'm gonna go with the Niners winning in the home stadium.
Yeah, if you put the stadium, and I don't think the Niners with or without the injuries, I don't know if they had enough on the defensive side, even healthy with the offense of Seattle playing like that.
Mm-hmm. They didn't.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, they did it.
You insert Fred Warner, insert Joey Bosa. I don't know if you have
enough. Nick
Bosa. I don't know if you have enough.
They don't have enough, even with them
in the tank, to be able to do that. Now, would it have been closer? Possibly.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah, I think it's Niners. So to kind of summarize the Seahawks' journey to this Super Bowl win, I think it's fascinating, and we need to give, because we praise Howie Roseman as Eagles fans. We praise Howie Roseman.
Yes, go ahead and do it, because there's a lot of draft picks, not a lot of free agents.
John Schneider deserves his flowers here because, all right, I broke this down into multiple categories. So let's start with his drafts since 2022. All right, I'm not going to read off every single draft class because that would take too long. But I went to each draft class and I highlighted the notable names from each. Okay, just the notable ones. And I could be still leaving out some, but these are the notable names from each. 2022, Kenneth Walker, Charles Cross, Abraham Lucas, Kobe Bryant, and Rick Woolen. That the draft class is insane. 2023, Devin Witherspoon, JSN, Derek Hall, Zach Charbonnet, Anthony Bradford. So in those two drafts alone, they have 3 of their starting offensive linemen in those two drafts alone. 2024, they had Byron Murphy and AJ Barner. Now, that draft was the one where they only had one pick. They had a first-round pick, and then it went. The next pick for them was the 4th round. So they didn't have a lot of top picks. But they took Byron Murphy in the first round, and then the next notable name in the 4th round was AJ Barner, who's huge for them, huge tight end for them. And then the 2025 draft, Gray Zabel, the other starting offensive line for them, and Nick Emenwari, monster. So those draft classes, and I didn't even read off every single name. Those are just the notable ones. If I go and look at their roster, both sides of the ball, the key contributors who were drafted, overall on offense, there's 8 key contributors. On defense, there's 7. All right, so that's through the draft. That's just through the draft. All right, let's get to the offseason. Before 2025, the key offensive additions, Leonard Williams, Ernest Jones, Josh Jobe, Julian Love, Uchenna Nwosu. Okay, that was all key contributors that were acquired via free agency or trade before 2025. Now, this past offseason, this was the turning point. Because not only you go into the second year of Mike Macdonald, and then you hire Clint Kubiak to replace Ryan Grubb, which is huge move. Obviously, a huge move. But the key acquisitions in 2025, Sam Darnold replaces Geno Smith. Cooper Kupp essentially replaces DK Metcalf. And via trade midseason, Rashid Shaheed replaces Tyler Lockett. You also signed Eric Saubert. I don't know how to never pronounce his name. Saubert as a free agent tight end. So he was your T2, and then DeMarcus Lawrence from the
veteran presence.
So these, like, being able to turn it around, and ever since 2022. And that's, again, when they had that draft, I saw it, because how many of those names from the 2022 draft those picks that I love? I think if we go back and we look at one of our Birds of a Feather shows, not only was I in love with Kenneth Walker, I loved the 2 tackles, Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas. Kobe Bryant was a good pick, and both you and I were Rick Woolen fans. So that draft, from that point on, 2022, I was like, this team is on an upward slope. They're on an upward trajectory. But that 2025 to be able to turn those departures of Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett and turn them into Sam Darnold, Cooper Kupp, and Rashid Shaheed respectively. Yo, that is Howie Roseman type stuff.
And truth be told, he could have learned. Like he probably was watching how we doing. But remember, this isn't his first rodeo. This is one of the other few GMs in the league that built a previous Super Bowl regime. Like John Snyder is probably, if not, probably the next longest standing GM in the league next to Howie Roseman.
So he has that tenure. He has the confidence from the ownership. Yeah, 100%. So I wanted to take the time because he deserves flowers throughout this whole thing to be able to shape this roster the way that he had. And I have confidence in him that he'll continue to do so. So yeah, awesome stuff. All right. No huddle. I've got a few things, but you want to start it off?
No huddle. Is this just what are we doing here as far as Super Bowl related, league related? Well, we got the
no huddle is whatever you want it to be.
So I mean, we're 4 weeks away, and it's going to be coming up hot and fast when we talk about the league offseason. I'm very like there's a lot of moving pieces here. What are we going to do? Eagles bringing Minnesota Vikings O-line coach to the same position, which is a little weird to me when guys make lateral moves. Cooper, I don't know how you enunciate it. O-line coach in Minnesota for the last 4 years, takes the same position with the Eagles. I don't even remember this guy getting fired or let go because supposedly the relationship between him and Kevin O'Connell is really good. So curious to see that. League-wide, I mean, commercial sucked last night for Super Bowl. That's the other thing why I wasn't invested. And I think they said it broke a 16-year streak of no Marvel commercials during the Super Bowl.
I feel like the commercials have been sucking every year for a while now.
Well, it's just only so much you can do now with commercials. $1 million. And you got to think about it. Like in this day and age where we cut the cable, we cut the cord, do all this. Like the Super Bowl is probably the last mainstay thing that's still on traditional TV.
Yeah.
But how many, like, in the advent of DVR and all this, like we skipping through all that commercial shit. You know what I mean? So it's amazing to me that they still get $1 million an ad for a slot. It's so weird because I don't know. I mean, the best one, I think the Eagle and the Clydesdale, that's the one I remember from last night.
The Eagle Clydesdale. I thought, I don't know if anyone else thought this. I liked the Jurassic Park one.
Okay.
I thought that was funny. I was laughing. So I like that one. The one at the beginning with Haley Steinfeld for halfway insurance or something. I thought that was clever. That was funny. But nothing really stood out to me. I mean, I don't know. I've been down on the commercials for years now, so I don't really even go into it.
Commercials is not something that I partake in.
Yeah. And like one of the reasons why I would love commercials before were the movie trailers. Well, I can see the movie trailers on YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like it's not a huge deal to me anymore with commercials. So that is what it is. If you want to talk about something else like Super Bowl related but wasn't about the game, I didn't understand a lick of what was being said, but I enjoyed Bad Bunny's performance. I had said in social media, yo, his set pieces, the set designs were
very
awesome.
And this is what it is, because obviously there were two. Whatever. I like country music. I like all that. I checked them with both. Didn't care. Like the people behind it, it is what it is. Different agenda, but I just like the music. When you are the first of your ethnicity to perform on a stage such as that, the performance that we saw on the halftime show was bigger than just Bad Bunny. And he's the biggest artist in the world, solo artist in the world. He just came off the Grammy winning album of the year, first non-English speaking album to win album of the year. Mm-hmm. The set pieces mean everything meant something. And then you had Cardi B, you had other people of not Puerto Rican descent, but Latin America descent.
Yeah.
All those flags at the end.
Gaga singing, you know, Jessica Alba, Pedro Pascal. Yeah. So
oh, Jessica Alba.
I know. I know. I know. So yeah,
she still made the movie Honey, but damn it, you look good still. Okay.
And you know me, like with my dancing background, that's one of the first things I looked for in the performance. The dancing was obviously phenomenal. Set pieces were great. So I always have appreciation for that, like the production and the entertainment value of those ends of a Super Bowl performance. And I loved it. I think that the word that was often thrown around from people that like me who don't really understand Spanish was that like it was a vibe. Like we were just chilling and be like, okay, yeah. Like, and I think like someone had said this, like the whole theme of just like community and togetherness. It fit. It was perfect. So I thought it was great. Great performance. And hats off to Bad Bunny. Good stuff. Amazing stuff.
Bad Bunny.
Good. Oh, I don't know. I thought you had something else.
No, that's how he would say. And then you're probably going to see him on a bigger national stage because I think now because his name and he's so hot right now, is he's probably going to be. I can imagine my crystal ball. WrestleMania night 1 or night 2, we're going to see Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul.
Because of Logan Paul's tweet. Oh my god!
Not so much the tweet. Logan, listen, may not like him, but when it comes to wrestling and the art of it,
he's good.
He's good, and Bunny trains too. Like
I did not know that. So Bad Bunny really.
Oh, you have to go watch. Go watch when they did WWE Backlash 2024 in Puerto Rico, San Juan, and Bad Bunny was in the main event. You hear when that music hit, it just go crazy. It would almost be like if Manny Pacquiao had a fight at a premier WrestleMania event if they did it from the Philippines. Like it would just be insane at the height of Manny Pacquiao.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would just be insane. That's what it is. But I don't know. It's just I just feel like the shine on the Super Bowl just wasn't there. Like it feels like we had a Super Bowl, they crowned a champion, but it didn't feel super. Like there was nothing that like this. So I think my wife said, she said this feels like it's a regular game. Like the whole gravitas of it, right?
You didn't feel like it was as big of a spectacle as it usually
is. Yes. The spectacularity of it, which is not even a word. You could hear my tongue.
But I know what you mean. All right, Steven.
It just wasn't on the grandness of it. Mm-hmm. Not so much the over the top, but like just everything about it. I don't know if that was the point they wanted.
No, I think that's fair because I mean, like even at Radio Row, I was looking at the, when you look at the space they're in for Radio Row, it was pretty lacking compared to other places like the.
And they say San Francisco, but Santa Clara is probably a good 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, it's an hour away from San Francisco. It's even worse than when they say New York, but then you're in Jersey across the bridge. But like at least that's only if you're counting traffic out of New York, it's going to take you like half an hour. But like you're not far. But no, Santa Clara is an hour away from San Francisco. You're not in San Francisco. It's a totally different thing. So
like I think LA is going to be different. San Fran is a very clean area, clean city. It's a different vibe. LA is more of a melting pot.
Yes.
I hope I know.
SoFi is gorgeous. SoFi.
Yeah. Adam Schefter had talked about when he was on 97.5. He did it. He said more things may be coming from the Eagles. I'm still crossing my fingers that it could be a retractable roof, or that
oh my god, please,
or the link is going under some type of a retractable roof and some seating enhancements.
I would love that because I don't. For one,
is the Bills new stadium closed?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think it is.
Go look it up. But I'm tired of the horrible weather games I know there's a contingent of Eagles fans that still love those games. I hate them. As a pure football fan, I hate them. I think snow games in football just make it really, really bad. So I can't stand it. I want a retractable roof. And so from the football purist of in me, that makes sense. That's mainly why I
no
want
retractable
it.
roof or dome, which is
yeah. But you said it. What was it, a week or two ago now in our chat? Like, it's you do that, and Jeffrey Lurie is able to bring in other events into Philadelphia, into the league. So yeah, whether it be a retractable roof or a brand new stadium altogether, I don't know, whatever it is, but I'm down for it. Like I'm so down for it. I'm tired of the open stadium. As long as that
cold weather cities, the only one that you really can do it at is either Detroit or Minnesota. Chicago's outside, open air. Green Bay's outside, open air. I don't know if any other colder climate February that has a dome.
I don't
outside of Minnesota and Detroit.
Yeah, I don't either. They had the
nobody else in the AFC North. No Cleveland. No. I mean, could you say Atlanta? But that really doesn't get super cold in February. Yeah, that's really. I'm surprised Dallas has only hosted one since AT&T Stadium's been done.
I'm surprised too. Yeah, I'm surprised too. But I mean, yeah, I as long as the surface remains grass, like you cannot put turf in it. Do not put turf in our stadium.
Yeah,
don't do that. But make sure it's grass, and give me a retractable dome, please. The last thing I'm going to say before we get out of here. Happy birthday, Saquon Barkley. You know, I had to end the show.
Oh, yes. Happy birthday, Saquon.
Complimenting my one guy, and I have to compliment my other guy. Give a shout out to him. Saquon Barkley, happy birthday. And I wanted to say that, like, seeing Saquon Barkley win a Super Bowl in 2024-25 and having arguably the greatest single season by a running back in NFL history, and then Kenneth Walker winning a Super Bowl this season.
Running backs matter, baby.
After taking advantage of his opportunity and being the featured guy in the playoffs, tearing it up the whole playoffs, and winning Super Bowl MVP. Like my two favorite running backs in the league right now, having that type of success back-to-back seasons, that's priceless. Running backs matter. # running backs matter.
So if you go by the hierarchy of running backs who you like, and they win a Super Bowl, then that means next year will be Bijan's turn.
Bijan's turn. I don't know the chances of that. They don't have a quarterback yet, so I don't know his chances. But yeah, Bijan would be next, and then the year after that it would be Kyle Monangai, so the Bears, and then the year after that it would be Chase Brown, so the Bengals. So line them up. I think the Bears and Monangai are closer than the Falcons are. At this point.
I mean, Press Taylor, boy, new OC, and
I don't think that matters. I think it's funny how Eagles are like, what the heck? Yeah, Ben Johnson's calling plays. I think Ben Johnson's too good for Press Taylor to even matter. So all right, good show. I'm glad we were able to discuss this.
A little hour 20.
Hour 20, not bad. I actually went shorter than I expected. I thought we could have. I was like, we might hit 130. But no, 120 is good. That's good stuff. Thank you to Don, the rest of the chat, and Pove, Daily, Dynasty. Thank you for tuning in. And the rest of you guys who tune in to watch, appreciate it. It was fun to be on a Monday night and early evening show. And next week we'll be going back to our usual time slot, either late Tuesday night live or a pre-recorded show on Wednesday. We are going to actually shift. If our pre-recorded shows are post, if they go out on Wednesdays, we're going to shift it now to the afternoons. So no longer 8 a.m. in the mornings. They're going to be for Wednesday afternoons around 5 o'clock. They will be posted. So just be on the lookout for that. We still got 2 more shows until the end of our season before we hit the off season. So still got 2 more shows. And I have some fun stuff planned. So definitely tune in before the off season hits for us. So there's still a lot we want to talk about and cover. And our final show of the month we are planning to have our own little Birds of a Feather reunion. Hopefully, we can get our old friend, our good friend, Chrome, who, shout out, who just got engaged.
Shout out to
Shout out
the future
Chrome,
Mr.
just got engaged.
Chrome.
Bro,
Yeah.
I am so happy for you. It's a long time coming.
Yep.
I love
like
your
2 months
family.
like I would say 4 months after he was dating her, I said, bro, all right, so
that's
like what's taking you so long?
Yeah.
There's 20 more months.
I've never seen him happier. So we knew that she was the one. So congrats, and hopefully we'll have him on in about 2 weeks to talk some Eagles off season. So until then, thank you to our sponsor, Alonzi Travel. Remember, if you guys are thinking about a vacation, hit me up, Charles at alonzi-travel.com for myself, for Mr. OGP, and the rest of us at ATD Radio. The NFL season is over. Take a breath, relax, and get ready for the off season. We will see you. Buckle up. We will see you next week. Peace.